You'll never guess what I did today. I teamed up with Martin, you remember him, right? That friendly guy we recently got to know, and embarked on an absolutely riveting journey. Honestly, I think we look like 2 pixels on a great big screen, just finding our way around the RGB spectrum. We are tracing the heartbeat of the cafe culture in the city through our lenses. You see, both Martin and I really identified with the evocative charm and warm, inviting ambiance of cafes. Hence, we decided to capture it in its most raw, unfiltered form through a series of vintage Polaroids. We're literally trying to deconstruct coffee art and architecture here, using a faded Polaroid theme to bring out that timeless, almost ethereal quality. It's like adding sepia tones to a black and white image, really brings out that retro vibe. Of course, our artistic endeavors led us right into the vortex of some interesting virtual banter. Your favorite tech geeks, Eric and Nina, joined in, and we all went on this tangent about the Matrix. Crazy, huh? Picture this. Your everyday chat sort of transformed into a teaser reel for a new Matrix edition. I went from initiating a cafe series to brainstorming Matrix-inspired Polaroids. Talk about genre blending. There was a consensus on green tint code and Matrix glitches, and I couldn't help but joke about adding a Matrix vibe to our project. That light bulb moment? It's sort of my new caffeine rush now. Even aside from our work, there's just so much happening around. The news of Matrix 4 got us all amped up. Nina can't wait to see Keanu Reeves in his trademark trench coat again, and Eric seems to have taken quite a liking to the 4D concept. We all played around with nicknames inspired by the Matrix, too. Nye's the Oracle, I'm the Keymaker, and E chose to identify with Morpheus. Pretty interesting alter egos, don't you think? Oh, and this might crack you up. In the midst of all this, 2 words got a standing ovation. Soda hug mugs. Oh yeah, they're making a comeback for our next movie night. E just couldn't forget the legend. What does transformational leadership look like, you ask? Maybe something like this. And let's be honest, our attempt to drive the Coffee Chronicle wasn't all work and no play. We found this super old cafe, and I mean it dated back to the 1920s. We spent hours there steeped in history, aroma, and artistic perspective. It's been quite a day, honestly. I can already imagine you smirking that quintessential smirk of yours as you hear this jargon-filled recollection. Every moment spent on this project feels like I'm flipping through a faded Polaroid album, freeze-framing coffee tales in every little cafe corner we find. It's like a cacophony of countless cafe convos, frozen in place, just waiting for a click. Remember Martin? We jammed together to create the Cafe Culture series? Well, we sort of branched out today, ventured into a totally new dimension, and guess what? Your favorite, quick-witted, tech jargon spouting friend has gone old school today. No coding, no matrix speeches, no decoding encryption. It's something different and quite unexpected. I've started writing. Yes, you heard right. Writing. My very own personal blog. A quirky space called Digital Doodles to document my digital art journey. You know, inside stories of every single pixel I put together to create my pieces, peeking inside the mind of a visual artist, all the inward journeys, the hows, the whys, and of course, the occasional uh-oh moments. I'll be sharing the creative process, the inspiration, the Photoshop failures, everything that contributes to our final masterpieces. Oh, and don't worry, there's still going to be a flavor of our old days, some tech stuff, a hint of the Matrix, a dash of our gaming adventures, all peppered into my artistic journey. After all, what's Amy without a bit of tech flavor, right? I shared about my blog in our group chat, and Eric found it cool while Nina even called it genius. Can you believe that? Genius! I had to pinch myself for that one, and you know what's even more exciting? I've already posted my first entry. Now here's the funny part. When asked to give it a name after a zillion considerations, your friend finally fell in love with Digital Doodles. I know, I have a knack for alliteration. And the feedback, oh, don't get me started. Nina was beyond generous, calling my first post wonderfully introspective, while our dear code compiler, Eric, promised to read it post his marathon session. Classic E. Wait, even got some killer advice from the crew. Nina emphasized the need to interact with my readers while Eric suggested the importance of consistent posting. A lifesaver, really. Especially when you're as clueless as I am about this whole blogging biz. Anyways, it's been quite refreshing, switching gears and trying out something different. From clicking vintage Polaroids to writing about creating digital arts, it has been quite an interesting couple of days. Remember we spoke about my newfangled interest in philosophy and metaphysics, right? Well, it led me to this rather intense literature club that I joined today. Let me just say, it's like exploring a new dimension. A little like stepping into the TARDIS and zipping off to a parallel universe, You would have been amused to see me, a fast-talking dev next to the die-hard literature geeks getting into the world of metaphysics. But guess who jumped right in? Me, of course. The first book we picked was Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosophy, could you believe it? It's quite the pivot from my daily dose of code, but hey, we gotta keep life interesting, right? Now imagine me, tossing around terms like logos, virtue, wisdom. Kind of juxtaposes well with the usual coding jargon. What a hodgepodge of an identity am I turning out to be, huh? Tech geek by weekday, metaphysics and philosophy enthusiast by weekend. And you remember John, right? The club member? I met him again today. Guy has a mind like a black hole, so dense and profound. He throws around literary references like it's his second language. Quite the character, this one. BTW, Nina watched Inception, finally. We all got into a pretty fun discussion about the dream within a dream concept and how it ties into my philosophical journey. Sort of parallels with the concept of life's illusions and realities, And Eric, actually mused about how timely Inception was with respect to my new philosophic journey. Clover with his wit, isn't he? Nina's excited to learn about my latest reading list. You know her, if there's a book involved, she's all ears. And then there was Eric, quick to cheer me on into this low-code exploration. It's always such a blast chatting with them. Well, gotta hit the books now. I mean, this isn't a Netflix series I can binge watch, right? I'll touch base later, okay? Maybe I'll become a bit more enlightened. Catch you later, Philosopher Queen, signing off.